for not much in return.
It is a high price for what is effectively a photo opportunity. And I think you're absolutely right in that we should be more prepared, which means spending money and spending it sensibly, and also, I think, restoring the morale of the armed forces, which I suspect have suffered. But I'm wondering what you think about the debate concerning the building of the nuclear submarines in Adelaide. Is this a realistic proposal, do you think?
Well, I listened to Alexander Downer's comments with interest, and I have to agree with Alexander to the extent that this is not something that we can do solely within the capabilities of the shipbuilding industry in South Australia. If Australia is ever going to be able to construct these submarines, it's going to be a national enterprise. And there are, companies in New South Wales and Victoria that will actually play a larger role than the metal bashing that might take place at the Osborne shipyards. So it is not going to be done purely by any means in South Australia. And I do wish that governments would simply stop writing that particular check, David, because they cannot deliver it. There are 2 yards in the US building Virginia-class submarines. Each of those shipbuilding consortia are employing 10 to 15,000 people. That's significantly in advance of the entirety of Australia's maritime construction capability right now. And so if we are going to do it, the key message is it's not going to happen where governments are spending only 2% of gross national product on defence. And my concern here is that, both from the Morrison government and the Albanese government, they talk this really big game about all of the things that are going to happen in defence. It's a 4% of gross national product game, but they're attempting to deliver it on a 2% of gross national product defence spend, and it's not achievable. And right now what's happening in defence is that, because they're putting a priority on delivering these submarines, because it's a key part of AUKUS and that is a key part of the American alliance, everything else is being squeezed out. So, to give you one example, the Defence Strategic Review that was announced a few months ago significantly cut the number of armoured vehicles that our Army was expecting to have delivered over the next sort of half decade from, something in the order of 500 down to about 140 such vehicles. Now, you can have an argument to say, well, maybe that was the wrong technology, maybe they needed to be redesigned, perhaps the vehicle should have been lighter. But all the government did was to say, we're not going to build them. In fact, we're only going to have armoured vehicles for the equivalent of 1 battalion in the entire Australian Army. Right? The Army's 30,000 people, a battalion's about 500 people. So we're going to have armoured vehicles for about 500 people. And the money that's notionally saved from this, well, that's being put towards the cost of the submarine program. So the risk, I think, is we're going to gut the rest of the Defence Force in order to deliver these submarines.